All right. Hello, everyone.
No.
I wasn't going to be able to keep a straight face. I was going to try so hard to keep a straight face, but I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Didn't even last a minute.
It didn't the last 10
Oh my God, I'm dying.
We were going to try so hard to continue the podcast like that and not say anything.
I wish we could have. I wish we could have, honestly.
I just couldn't. I saw the reality of how fucking dumb that looked.
It's too great. It's too good. It's too good.
Gosh dang it. Okay. Hi everyone.
All right.
Crafty, hello. So we're live.
Hi, Crafty.
Hey, Crafty.
As you can tell, I might have watched something today because I just got done fucking crying. But yeah, it's been a week. So let's get on with so fucking dumb. Let's get on with our weeks. Bree, go ahead.
Well, if you could tell in the back here, my stupid oil burner will no longer making any appearances on Zeroing Out. Yay, little Kermit flail here. I've been working on some freelance. I recorded another episode of Like Crap. I've not started to edit it yet because my life's just been super crazy bananas, and also I'm probably going to be upgrading my mic sooner rather than later. Stay tuned.
Very nice. Excellent. All right. Mike.
Yeah. Last week was pretty much business as usual. Over the weekend, I saw the new Final Destination movie, which was awesome. And then I also caught Clown in a Cornfield. So very horror-centric weekend.
Sure. Fiona.
I thought you were going to say that you literally caught a clown in a cornfield there, Mike.
No, that would be awesome, but no.
That would have been awesome. Anyway, so I'm much better with my cold, although still coughing, which is, problematic. But that was great. That was amazing. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a busy week. It's been 1 week. Yeah, anyway. And so today we started a new Vampire the Masquerade campaign. My friends, Red and the crew and everybody and I.
Nice.
I am, of course, not playing a dude. I am playing a woman who's very masked. And it's actually really cool. Her name is Kara Harker. And she's a bruja, and she will kick your ass and look pretty well doing it. And she has a purple mohawk. I've always wanted to play a woman with a purple mohawk. There you go.
Nice.
Dream achieved. Achievement unlocked. Where's the sound? Anyway, apart from that, been playing some Doom the Dark Ages. So I am not going to buy it unless it goes on sale. And the reason for that is because of the way that Bethesda treated Mick Gordon.
Okay.
So I will not support this game unless it is deeply discounted. But in terms of playing it via Game Pass, I'll do that. It's, so here's the thing. It's very different from the other two. It's very different from Eternal, obviously, and it's very different from 2016. It's a little bit more similar in terms of combat to 2016, if only because of the fact that you're more grounded, and it's slower and heavier than 2016. It feels heavier. You're supposed to feel heavy. Like they said, he's like a tank in this game.
Yes.
So there's no double jump at all. You can sprint and jump, and it gives him a little bit of a boost there, but that's kind of different. It's much more rudimentary than either 2016 or Eternal were. That will probably piss off a lot of people. It's also a hell of a lot easier because you can just parry attacks, and the parry window is quite big unless you adjust that in settings. They do that on purpose just because there's some players like myself who are not ninjas at parrying. But but even I turned it down because I was like, this is giving me way too much of a wide berth here for this. Like, it's way too easy. Doom games kill me frequently. This game, I've died twice. And also when that happens, like Buffy. And also when you come back, you can instantaneously come back because you get 3 bonus lives throughout the level that you can find. And if you hang on to them after the level is done, you can just bring them along with you into the next level. You don't have to even collect any more. I was hoping for it to be Game of the Year contender. That's what I was hoping for. I don't think it quite lives up to that. And I have played Clair Obscur a little bit. I did not play through that all the way through. It's very French for me. It's not really what I'm looking for in a game. But I understand why people like it, and I probably will get back to it at some point because I hear the story is very, very good. And I like the fact that it's made by, a small team and all that stuff. So it's not like it's a bad game or anything like that. I definitely don't think so. I just think it's not maybe my cup of tea. I was hoping for better from Doom, from the Dark Ages. Also, the music is just, and I mean, all credit to Finishing Move for what they did with the soundtrack here. I think that what they produced is not bad by any means. It's just, man, you go back and you listen. So, like, I did not play either 2016 or Eternal in the run-up to this, in the lead-into to Dark Ages release. And I'm glad that I didn't, because had I done that beforehand, I think it would have turned me off of this game. I did revisit Eternal very quickly the other night, and on my fucking potato system now, this PC is a potato now at this point. It's a 2070, it's a potato. It runs Eternal super smoothly. Obviously, because the game has been out, it's been optimized, it's been patched to death, everything's fine on that front. But, like, it runs it with ray tracing on. This is a 2070. This is a first-gen ray tracing card. And it runs it with ray tracing on 60 FPS, not an issue. Damn. And it looks gorgeous. It looks better than the Dark Ages, in my opinion. Everything, the models are better. Everything is better. The glory kills, there are no glory kills in Dark Ages. None. The only thing that you get that's even close to it is when you beat, like, there's like these leader characters, like leader enemies that are like bosses and stuff, and you have to like whittle down their shields and everything by killing their minions. When you finally get to them, there is a semi-glory kill that he does where he'll wrench out their cores or something, and it'll be like a health bonus or an energy bonus or an ammo bonus or an armor bonus. And that's it. That's the closest thing that you get to it. There is less gore in this game. There's less music in this game. It's less and less and less of everything. And that, to me, is not how you do a Doom game. Bethesda is fucking themselves in the ass. They are, in my opinion, the way that they treated Mick Gordon, this is like karma. And I don't think it's Game of the Year, frankly. I don't think it's even a contender for me. In terms of the moment-to-moment gameplay, it feels slower and it feels chunkier. And when you're in a fight, it's decent. But if you're not in a fight, there's basically no music but droning, and it kind of sucks. So I'm not entirely happy with it.
Yeah, you know what? In one of my Discords, someone posted some gameplay footage. Like, there's like some gore, but I'm like, this is kind of like a little bit vanilla for a Doom game.
I did not touch Eternal, but I heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah. If you play Eternal and then go back to this, you will see the difference, and you will hear the difference even in Mick Gordon's soundtrack. The way that he established his music in the game is just wonderful. The way that it responds to players' actions is wonderful. This game, when you're walking around the world and they just have droning music as the background, it's not even what I would call music, it's just a droning.
Ooh.
When you get When you get to a fight, like if there's a boss around, that droning just instantly becomes metal. Whereas with Mick Gordon, there was always a transition and there was always a build. Again, and there's no car and took. There's no rip and tear. There's no metal choir anymore. It's just straight up guitars. There's barely even any synth. To me, it doesn't feel like Doom. It doesn't sound like Doom. I'm gonna play through it, but I don't know. At best, it's a 7. At best. I played Eternal for like 5 minutes, and I wanted to go back to that game. And I haven't played it since it first came out in 2020. So I mean, I think revisiting that is going to be much more of a joyful experience than this is. But yeah, 2016 is way better, and Eternal is way better. So this is what you get, Bethesda, when you fuck your composer. Then this is what's going to happen, or any contractor that works for you and you don't pay them. They never paid him. So, yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Anyway, not to be all angry at the top of the show, but,
Let it all out. Let it all out. Because honestly, we're probably going to get some angrier things later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, felt.
So I just got back on Friday. As soon as the podcast ended, I packed and then I left to go about 3 hours south of where I live for a job that I had to go to fixing lakefront property near our capital, Madison, here in Wisconsin. Spent 3 days there, so that was something. I had my stuck in a hotel room that I couldn't cast to the TV. It was not a smart TV, so everything I did on my Pixel 7 from my room. So that was something. I ate at a Hooters for the first time, so that was whatever. I was like,
yeah. I mean, honestly, maybe it's because I went in as a kid, but I'm like, Hooters gets hyped up, but it's honestly kind of disappointing.
It was just kind of mid. I had really good shrimp there. Whatever. It was it was in a busy. Had a really good barbecue place that was there. So that I was impressed with. Had some of the best brisket I've ever had in my life. So that was really nice. I finished Cabaneri and the Iron Fortress. I got partway through that, and then I have not watched anime for frickin' forever. I just got on a kick where I was just not enjoying doing basically anything. And it's been happening a lot lately. It's getting better where I'm not playing games, I'm not doing whatever. It's affected streaming doing her, but I finally kind of kicked myself in the ass and finished it. It is good, but the pacing on the latter half is clunky. The rules for what the Kabane can do, to say they're loose is being very generous. This is the first series where, okay, I'm going to try to explain this without. Do you guys care if I spoil the ending of this?
I vaguely know what it is, so you're fine.
Okay, so what happens is there's a thing called a Kabanari. It's the reason why everyone thinks this show is Attack on Titan. Why, I don't fucking get it.
Because they're both zombies, I guess. Whatever.
Not really, but whatever. Okay, but so they have this zombie virus that if you bites you and it gets to your brain, you're done. This one we'll call him a scientist, makes a choker chain that stops the thing and suffocates himself, stops it from getting to his head. Anime logic, I understand, go with it. So then there's another girl that you find out later in the story that they all come together and get on this train that goes the Chokutetsu, I want to say it is. And they end up traveling together. You find out that this girl's a Kabanari as well, but she was actually made to be one. Injected herself, she didn't get bit. And as they go along, you find out that, these things can come into a massive creature and, basically form the villain from Fern Gully. Is it Hexus? Toxis? Hexus? I want to say it's Texas. Anyway, I want to watch Fern Gully again now. But, so you can And then they come up with like human blood is what drives these things. Like they go off it, and then eventually they find out like you can juice them pretty much to make them more powerful. And the main villain is trying to get back at its family that like kind of shoved it to the side by unleashing the Kabanari on it and just like basically torching the world. Hey Jacob. But they find out that you can take a black blood capsule and a white blood capsule. The black blood capsule makes you the heart of what the Toxica creature thing is. Turns you into this big giant creature. You are basically a giant blue emblem that everything you turn into you hear all of the like souls of all the things around you and all these fears, and then the only way to stop that is to inject the heart of this thing, so the thing that was ejected in the first place, with a white blood capsule. So the main hero male is trying to help the main female hero stop being this thing because she got tricked into being it. So you're going along, and the main villain, you find out, has another one of these white blood things on him. So you're thinking, oh, wait, now we don't have to choose between the heroes and only one of them's going to survive because now a second one's introduced. So he injects the main girl, and then the guy and the main villain fight. And the entire fight, I'm waiting for the hero to be injected so that they can both be safe and both turn back to normal. Nothing happens to ever show him being injected. They get back to their train, which is the Iron Fortress that they've been on the other time, and he just starts turning back to normal. And they act as if he was injected. And then the story ends, and there's a movie that goes later on that was better written, better animated, better acted, the whole shit, than any of it. It's the best thing they've done in the whole series. It's this like 3-part movie that they do at the end that's on Netflix. So I went to Google, Reddit, all these things to search for when in the episode he got injected to save himself. And the only thing Reddit and Google could come up with is there's a point where if you don't get this injection, he was just going to die. And there's a point where the villain who has the white blood capsule on him shoots the hero. And you see this white gleam come off of the hero after he gets shot. And then he starts screaming at him to get up and fight him. It is interpreted that that was him injecting him when he shot it out of a rifle at him. They don't specify that that's what he did. They don't show that it was done. Everyone just assumes that's what happened.
Huh.
I've never in my life went to Google to find out when a moment in a finale happened. Ever. I'd suggest it to people to watch, but it would be down the line. Like, the music is great. It's done by the same people that did some of the Attack on Titan music. It's done by Wit.
Yeah, it's done by Hiroyuki Sawano.
Yeah, but it's just... I just don't know what happened in the ass end of it.
I think kind of what happened when Attack on Titan Season 1 aired. Wit has historically had a lot of production issues. And I feel like this was a 13-episode anime, right?
Yes, it was.
It needed to be 25.
I could have been happy with 15. Because there was a lot of episodes where they were just dicking around and then just important stuff happened. I would have been okay with 25, but like 3 more episodes of lore on these things because they still don't tell you where they came from. They just happen. You have no idea where the Kabanari came from. They're just there. And it's a big deal that they're around for some reason. And even after the movie, which gives you a better ending, you still don't know if anything happens. It's just one of those left open to the wind. It's not quite Soul Eater punching the main villain with courage and then they just show you all the main plot lines that don't happen. It's not that, but...
The more egregious version of that would be the Finding Neverland Season 2. Where literally the rest
Neverland?
Yeah, the Promised Neverland.
Yeah, I've heard not great things about that second season.
Literally clip shows, and they cut off like half the manga.
Yeah,
it's incredible to watch. I'm like, wow, holy shit.
All right, so Kiona was talking about being angry at a video game. I mentioned, I believe, on the last podcast that after I did Shadows, I'm now committing myself to finishing all the Assassin's Creed games. 1 is in no way, shape, or form able to play on my 5, so I started with 2. That game, it was made for PS3, and it shows. And I messaged a buddy of mine who is the biggest Assassin's Creed fan that I know, and I'm like, hey, question. Is there parkour sections of this game back then that felt like it was harder than a Souls boss using half the controller and both arms tied behind my back? And he goes, yeah, it felt like that then. I'm like, great. And then I'm like, there's a part in the catacombs where you have to go through a thing and like do this, and like, I want to put a hole through a wall. He's like, great. There's a part in a church later on that's a billion times worse. But it's like, when you're not parkouring and just doing the game and the storyline, it's great. But like, I've told, it drastically improves in the next one, and it's like a billion times better once you get to 3. So I'm like a game and a half away from where it gets good. Like, the storyline's fantastic. I got to hear Yuri Lowenthal do an Italian accent, so that was
Incredible.
I love him to death, but early stage Yuri Lowenthal, you could tell it's him when he's saying something. But yeah, other than wanting to put my fist through a wall in certain parkour sections, it's really good. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to going on through more of that. And yeah, wait, what? Umbreon, you realize those are after 2, right? I have to finish 2 to get the Brotherhood and Revelations. I said it gets better parkour-wise once you get to 3. But, yeah, so, yeah, that's been all I've been really up to. I am going to be starting, this upcoming... Yeah, but you said 3... You said 3 after those 2. Yes, Umbreon, because it goes those 2 and then 3. That's chronological order. Do I have to play The Last of Us to understand part 2? Technically no, but Manny, you are robbing yourselves of one of the best video games I've ever played in my life by not playing it. Just saying that. And I honestly think that you are partially doing yourself a disservice not playing 1. 1 is one of the best video games I've ever played in my entire life. And it's maybe 10 hours long. And it's free if you have PlayStation Plus. So yeah, but yeah, so anyway, all right. So on to our topics here. Let's get into it. Where is my... Oh my goodness, I am not prepared. Where is it?
What
Where's the
row?
document? There it is. Okay. Alrighty. So, buy or sell. Kiona, buy or sell that Stellar Blade 2
Yes.
is already in the works and will launch before 2027, likely.
Absolute buy. Absolute buy. Yeah. I'm not at all shocked that they are going forward with a second game.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
It was so good.
Makes sense to me.
Yes, I'm quite happy. Speaking of games that wanted to make me angry, I've never... That game did something that I can't explain. The bosses got... Here was the difficulty of the bosses in the game. Like this, like this, like this. And there's like maybe 16 bosses up until this point. Then it gets to the second to last boss straight in the fucking air. About 14 stories, and then the second boss is there. And then another 4 stories, and the supposed last boss is there. Then another 5 stories, and the actual secret last boss is there. I don't know what they were thinking balance-wise, but wow, I hope that's the only part they do a little bit better in the second game. Yeah. So, hey, Kiona, another gaming one right away. Buy or sell that Randy Pitchford says a real fan will pay $80 for their video games.
Hey, Randy Pitchford, if you really believe that, we got 2 words for you. And it ain't guns up.
Suck it.
Suck it, bitch. Sir, did you see the state of play thing that they did for Borderlands 4? First of all, I watched it. And let me just say, it looks like the same fucking Borderlands, except with some different traversal elements and maybe a slightly more serious tone. I'm angry tonight. Why am I so angry?
Fiona, it's open world. That means it's different.
Oh my god, that means it's gonna be more boring.
There's no loading screens.
It's gonna be more boring.
There's magic tricks in it.
You know what the crazy
Jesus
thing about
Christ.
Randy Pitchford is that every year he seems to be more and more of a caricature of himself.
I know, and he looks like a caricature of himself now. Like, what the heck is going on?
If you are yourself in character, a caricature. Like, I don't even know if I ever knew the real land. I don't know if I ever knew the real Randy Pitchford.
I don't know. The dude is just absolutely nuts. He's nuts. I guess a logo is a caricature, but you know, no. The dude just looks weird now. I don't like.
Yeah.
Like, he just looks like he's reading his own press releases and believing everything about them. I don't know. Randy Pitchford, man.
How do they fit the press releases on the cards for the magic trick? Anyway,
Borderlands used to be interesting, and I feel like this is just completely more of the same. They were going through the game and like showing you a mission and everything, and they're like treating it as if it's something that we've never seen in an FPS before. I mean, I don't even know, man. It's like
Fiona, it's open world. It's different.
I love it when my FPSs go open world. Let me tell you, that's another complaint I have about Doom: The Dark Ages is those semi-open world segments. Boring as fuck. Halo Infinite 2, same problem.
It's because you shouldn't make single-player campaign-driven games open world. You should do it with games that are already open world, like Far Cry.
Agreed.
Actually work.
I agree, Umbreon. Borderlands peaked with the second game. I agree.
I would actually say that Borderlands peaked with Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Fair.
That's a fair point.
Tales game
That is a
really
fair point.
Fucking good. That Tales game.
Yeah,
really fucking good.
and that was all Telltale.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. One last gaming one. Rumor: Red Dead Redemption 2 is reportedly coming to the Switch 2 later this year, alongside a current-gen upgrade for PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. They remembered the game existed. Buy or sell?
I buy it.
Yeah.
How many?
I buy it if the upgrade is $10.
Of
If you already own the
supposedly
game.
the rumor is a patch.
It's a patch. Okay, if it's free or $10,
Supposedly.
I'm good with that.
Of
If it's anything over that, I ain't
Dead
paying for it.
Redemption Soul. I just want to be able to play the thing. Like
That's
upgrade
cool that it's on the
supposedly
Switch too. That's amazing. I mean, I'm glad. Yeah. It'll cost $80, but you know, whatever.
Shut the fuck up. There's no way that's true.
No, I'm kidding.
No, not that.
I don't know.
Is that fucking for real? I just look. Hold on. How many copies of Red Dead Redemption 2 have been sold? Oh my dear. Okay. My God, Rockstar. So they've done this thing now where every studio they had worked on Red Dead Redemption 2, and now it looks like every studio is working on GTA 5 or GTA 6. So they didn't make any DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2. They didn't even do the Undead Nightmare, which sold so well that they sold it as a separate game on the PS3. It was originally DLC. And that game has now sold 70 million copies.
No way.
70 million.
Jeez.
And they've not even put out a next-gen patch for it. And they canceled the online. Or I should say canceled, just forgot about it. A game that if they make a next-gen version of it, like an actual next-gen version, that thing will have sold 100 million copies. Because I could tell you right now, at least half of those people will do the $10 to get the upgrade. At least half, guaranteed. I have a friend that has 650 hours in the Red Dead 2 not online. And he's a sane person that plays this game. But, you know, we need more GTA.
Yep.
I'm going to play 6, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But I prefer Red Dead.
Always are.
Alright.
Yeah.
I
feel that.
Buy or sell the Zootopia 2 trailer.
I'm bad. I actually haven't watched it yet. But, I mean, hey, people
Well, buy
who
or sell. Tell me,
guess,
what do you think it's going to be?
Probably a buy, because they've taken their sweet-ass time for a movie that's made over $1 billion. And
it's being made by those sloths at the DMV.
Right, but here's the thing that makes me laugh is that it's made more money than Batman vs. Superman, which will never not...
Yeah, they came out the same month, too.
I think was it same day, and it made like almost like $200 million more, which is like...
I don't think it was the same day. I think it was just the same month. But let me double check.
It was within a very close window. That whole saga was hilarious. But you know what the thing I'm really excited for? Mike, can you guess?
Is it a new Shakira song?
Well, I mean that'd be great, but you know me. You know the real reason why I'm getting so excited about it.
There are lemurs in it.
No.
I have legitimately no idea.
All the great comics that will come out of it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Does Brock know about this comic? Or the comic?
I don't think I want to.
Wait until we're off air, because I don't want his setup to break again.
No, he don't tell him the one that's like not as bad.
That's all you.
I have a feeling that neither of them are not bad from how you're not able to consciously think right now.
Well, if you like drama, there's certainly a place for it.
We'll just save that for a different time. Kiona, buy or sell that supposedly A24 is making an Elden Ring movie.
I will only buy this if Sydney Sweeney is involved.
And she's in a Gundam?
Yes. And also driving a car very fast. That's the only way that I'll buy this. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, sure. Why the hell not? Although A24 is an interesting choice of studio for that.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice right there.
Also,
I'm getting deja vu from this conversation.
I don't know.
Also, Elden Ring
it's a
is
glitch
a
in the
movie.
Matrix. Yeah, a movie
that game
of
is
Elden Ring. I don't know about that.
Huge.
I don't know how they're gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
Huge.
Has A24 ever done like a tentpole movie?
I mean, Civil War was last year. That was at the time their biggest movie
film.
I don't know.
So if you're doing it through A24, right, then that implies that it's going to be less of it's not going to be as expensive to make. How do you do anything with Elden Ring?
I think A24
at a lower
would be the
budget
best
or
people to
mid-budget.
make the freaking Shadow of the Colossus movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. All right.
Yeah, I'm a little bit like I mean, it's not off-putting or anything. It's not like, it's not like unwelcome news, but it's just I don't know how they're gonna do it
I don't either.
logistically.
I
Yeah,
don't either. I don't either. All right,
but it's a cool
Mike.
idea.
Yeah, it is. Mike, buy or sell that Conan O'Brien has been cast in Toy Story 5 and he'll play a character called Smarty Pants.
Buy. Instant
Bye.
buy.
That sounds like such a Conan name.
This sounds like he's going to be the Duke Kaboom of that movie.
Yeah. But it's Conan, so
Right.
it's going to be great.
And honestly, like, it's kind of crazy that Conan O'Brien hasn't done more voice work.
It is kind of weird. He has the perfect voice to not have to do anything else. You just need a character that is kooky.
Yeah, because he has, but I don't think he's done it in like a hot minute.
Yeah, it's weird. He has the most Robot Chicken-esque voice I've ever just... He's meant for things like Family Guy. Well, he was a writer for The Simpsons for forever, so but...
Have you
Yeah,
ever?
like-
I'm so mad the uncut version isn't available on streaming, but did you ever see his episode in Space Ghost Coast to Coast?
Yeah.
I've been on many talkshows. Regis, Kathy Lee, Regis and Kathy Lee, like everything about that episode is so quotable.
Yeah, it was great. All right, on to the gaming news. So something kind of got let slip in a call that Cyberpunk Orion will not stay only in Nice City. There's supposedly an entirely new map, more than one city. A new city is like Chicago. The city went the wrong direction. More realistic crowds, developed on the Unreal Engine, and it may come faster than its predecessor. I don't know what come faster means, but there are things that happen in that
Well,
game.
does it? I mean, does it mean come faster as in day
Like release
one?
faster?
That's what I'm
like-
going to guess, because they have two separate teams working on it.
Right, but here's my question:
Yeah.
are we gonna get Cyberpunk 2077 as it exists in its current form, or day one Cyberpunk 2077?
Well,
what does they mean by that?
You
What
see,
they
that's
mean
the
by
thing that I
is
was
they're
wondering
not,
too.
They're not building it on their own engine that they couldn't hold together with fucking shoelaces.
Yeah.
They're making
Yeah.
it on an engine that already runs smooth.
That's
So
a good point.
that'll definitely help with all of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
They literally gave up on their engine because of Cyberpunk.
Yeah, honestly, the whole saga of Cyberpunk's one of the craziest fucking things I've seen, because that game was like dead and then it came back.
Yeah.
Shocking what can happen. That's what I always tell people when they're like, that game shit, I'm never playing it. There is a giant difference between a good game that's buggy and a bad game that's shit.
Exactly.
Because Cyberpunk was a fucking Ferrari that had a Buick Century motor in it.
Mm-hmm.
You just needed to fix it. There's other games that come out that are piles of shit, and they were made and turned out to be a pile of shit. But yet everyone thinks, no, Cyberpunk was just a pile of shit to start with. I'm like, no, that's a good game that was just badly bugged because they didn't have the time and were fighting against their own engine to make a good game.
So
Go ahead.
That's the one concern that I would have hearing that it's coming sooner or whatever, whatever the phrase was. But I mean, like, does that mean it's not going to be optimized? Does that mean that we're going to have issues with it when it first comes out? I mean,
you have to remember it came sooner than its predecessor. When was Cyberpunk first announced?
Yeah.
May 2012.
Yeah.
The game came out in 2020.
In 2020. Yeah.
Jesus.
So earlier than 8 years could be 6 or 7.
If that's what they mean, then obviously, then we won't have a problem. But
so let's. Everyone's like, it's always going to be like that, or it's not. And everyone always says, oh, it's going to be a cyberpunk situation again. I'm like, so where it's a really good game, it just needs to get fixed, or your game is just shit? Oh, like, there's games that are just shit when they come out. And they don't get fixed. The cyberpunk situation is we fix the thing, and now it's a game that could have won Game of Year if it would have released in that condition. That's not the same situation most of these games get. So let's stop saying the cyberpunk situation when 99% of these things you say aren't. Because there's not a good game buried in half of those games. There just isn't. But everyone likes to forget that. That's another thing, Umbreon. Anthem is not a terrible game. It was a good game that was not supported. That game functionally plays fucking amazing. But, you know, when you have EA to please and they don't like how it turns out, and you make a studio that is not meant to make multiplayer games and form them to make those kind of games, it just works out that way. Cyberpunk or No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is another one where that was one that it turned into a really good game, but No Man's Sky wasn't a bad game at launch either. It just didn't have 90% of what the fucking guy said was in it. It was still a good game you could play. And then it eventually had all the stuff that was in it. Cyberpunk had all the stuff in it. It was just glitchy. Like, I beat that game before it was fixed. I beat that game 3 times before it was fixed. So, like I said, trying to say everything is a cyberpunk situation, it just doesn't fit.
But you know what? The one bug I wish they didn't patch out was the riding pantsless on a T-pose on a motorcycle.
Oh my god, the crop cat video of all the cyberpunk glitches, that is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So funny.
Alright. So, moving on from that, there is a statement from Sony about the tariffs and the PlayStation and other things. So, tariffs may have a notable effect on Sony's business. However, ongoing negotiations between the US, Japan, and China are promising. It is likely a win-win, mutually beneficial trade deals will be signed before the end of this fiscal year, which will mitigate negative long-term effects. If the trade deals are signed soon, the negative impact on Sony will be a lot less than 100
billion.
I get that, but the next word.
Japanese yen?
Japanese yen. Okay, Japanese yen. I didn't know. I've never seen it put like that. The 100 billion Japanese yen that they are forecasting. It's one of those things where, again, Republican or not, 90% of these things where they're going for the tariffs, we're getting them on, a lot of these deals are actually working out pretty okay. A lot of good droppings on stuff for both ways are working. The one that just was being stupidly ramrodded around was the one with China, and even that turned out beneficially. Can we just not talk about tariffs for, like, ever?
That would be nice.
Ask the Cheeto.
You want to know what the worst thing is? He's the one that's bringing them up the least. If you want to be perfectly honest. I'm not being political.
I don't know.
He's the one that brings them up the least. Because I hear them more from newscasters than I hear from him.
I mean, let's just be fair. Most of the newscasters, like, aren't even things. So much of them are talking heads. Like,
they
are. Why, like, news is, like, so garbage now. Like, I have to dumpster dive to get, like, actual investigative reporting. It's, like, so sad.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It is. And half of it is just because they're reporting on stuff when they report on half of a statement. Because if they put the other parts of certain statements, then their story
I just love how breaking news just has no meaning anymore. Because when I thought breaking news, I'm like, oh, you know, there's this big horrible thing that's happened. There's, you know, been like a good thing, like, you know, the plane on the Hudson and, you know, everyone being okay. Now breaking news is someone tweeted. What the fuck?
Where's the good old news with Linda Ellerby when he... Does anyone remember that?
Yes,
Oh my
I
God.
do.
I'll never fucking forget that name, Linda Ellerby, as long as I fucking live. All day, whenever we heard something in school, it was always fucking Linda Ellerby.
You got it.
Alright.
I miss 90s, Nick.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So, Naughty Dog, to prevent leaks from Intergalactic, a Heretic Prophet, is doing the Tom Holland Marvel route. Actors are only parts of their scripts, sometimes not even in chronological order. An actor stated that it's the next big thing after The Last of Us Part 2, where a giant part of it leaked, even though, to be honest, it was a lot more than a script leak. Freaking whole cutscenes from the game leaked.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
I kind of get Naughty Dog saying, hey, let's not do that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
and-
so much I think of the, like, Abby bullshit was people watching stuff completely out of context.
Well, they here's the thing. They found out Joel was gonna die.
Mm.
And then they're like, I'm not going to play this game. I am not saying that I am some rocket scientist better at figuring things out than most people, but I finished The Last of Us Part 1 and was about 4,000% sure if we got a sequel that Joel was going to die.
Because there's consequences for his actions.
I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I thought it was gonna. So when the leak was Joel dies, I went, in other news, water is in fact still wet. Like, what the fuck? Like how it happens and some other characters and shit got leaked, but anyways, we'll get to that when we talk about stuff later. Okay. Now, not great news for Sony, possibly, I don't know. Jade Raymond has left PlayStation's Haven Studios, the studio that she had indeed founded. Could mean Fair Games, a PS5 game, is canceled or getting reworked. Some developers at Haven are concerned about how the game was received and its progress. In other words, unless the live Surface game is really good, we should maybe not put it out.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
Just maybe. Sony spokesperson added the company is committed to supporting Haven Studios and excited for their new journey. Fair Games was originally slated for release of fall of 2025, but it has been delayed till next spring.
Sure, Jan.
Sure, Jan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an extraction shooter, which is the new craze now, I guess. It used to be battle royales, now it's extraction shooters. I've never been a person who's into the fad of games. Like, the last thing that was even close to, like, the in thing that I played was Destiny. And I stopped, like, a third of the way through the main chunk of Destiny 2 content. So I just kind of don't even pay attention to these. I think I played 5 rounds of Apex with a friend. And that was all I've even done for battle royales. I can't say that I have a single second of an extraction shooter, at least to my knowledge, played, but people have fun, they have fun. That's how they... whatever. But, alright, so, apparently the budget for Grand Theft Auto 6 has been revealed to a source by IGN. $1 billion!
Had to do it.
You know, this is the first time I look at a video game
Yeah.
just by the trailer and go, I would believe that price tag.
Yeah, because because a lot of that budget's probably for, like, you know, development and whatever engine that they're using. I mean, if this was any other game, I'd be like, what the fuck? But the fact that they're probably going to make like $20 billion off of it is just like a drop in the bucket.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Budget! You dingus. Supposedly, the estimated overall development budget of Red Dead 2 was $540.
Jeez.
That includes years of works by over 1,000 developers. Now, how much profit has GTA 5 made. Now, keep in mind, there was at a point because of GTA Online where they were making $5 million a day for a while. Do you want to take a guess?
I'm gonna assume there's probably a B in it.
Oh, there's a couple.
7?
4.46 short of $10 billion.
Holy shit.
So it's only, they are taking a tenth of what they made from the last game to make the new one.
Wow.
I mean, because you think about it, like the lifespan, like they're probably gonna get, at least 8 years out of it.
I don't think this gonna be another, there's not going to be console generations, I think, when the next one comes out. That's a scary thought. I don't think it's it. Like when did GTA 5 come? September 17th, 2013. So 12 years. They spent almost $100,000 a year. Probably more than that, because no, it'd be a lot more than that, because every studio was working on Red Dead 2 and then switched over to Dear God.
Yeah.
I just want to know, I cannot wait for the number, because they're going to have to take it by physical games sold, because the game is not going to be out on PC right away.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have Steam number counts. I can't wait to see the congruent number of things done for this. And what I can't wait to see is when it starts getting closer, how the console sales spike. Because there's certain people that are going to wait until right before they know that game's going to come out and then get the next gen system.
Yep.
But good God. Okay. So let's go on. As a bunch of Americans, we knew how ignorant we were about Japanese culture. Ghost of Yotei team says they met with knowledgeable individuals and visited very important cultural sites to make the PS5 game feel authentic.
The fucking shade being thrown at Ubisoft.
I wasn't gonna say it, but someone did. Now, here's the thing. There are parts of Ghost of Tsushima that are chronologically not accurate. Like, there were certain weapons and stuff that were used, but like the Mongol invasion and Tsushima and all that, like, it was enough to where no one was upset. And everything was like one big thing that they were going to have with Ubisoft is that you could destroy shrines. But they were going to make it so that, like, your choice was to, but they patched it out. In Ghost of Tsushima, a shrine gets destroyed once. You don't see it, you come across it, and they make a very big deal that you take care of this person and end them for destroying the shrine.
Yeah.
So, like, there was a lot of just making sure everything was good, authentic. There's a Akira Kurosawa mode in this thing. They had Japanese voice acting, Chinese, everything. One of the coolest details in a video game ever is in Ghost of Tsushima. You have the English voice acting. And when you're talking to a fellow person from Tsushima that's Japanese, it's in English. When you come across the Mongol, they don't translate it. Because your character shouldn't know what that Mongol is saying.
That is cool.
There's little details like that I noticed playing where I'm like, I would have never thought of that. But that's awesome. Yeah, that's really good. All right, now on to really good, not good looking. No research was done.
Oh yeah, like this is the part of the show where we're gonna actually really get pissed off. So just heads up.
Bungie has issued a statement addressing plagiarism claims for a marathon.
That's an interesting
that
word.
A former artist included unauthorized artwork. Unauthorized. We immediately investigated a concern regarding unauthorized use of artist decals in Marathon and confirmed that a former Bungie artist, including these in a texture sheet that was ultimately used in game. We reached out to, dear Jesus, 4NT1R
Yeah.
EL. God. I think it's supposed to be in it for real. I don't know. To discuss an issue and are committed to do right by the artist after the first beta was out.
And
They canceled the second one to scrub all the copyrighted shit out. Or no, delete it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna see if I can get. You guys talk. I'm gonna see if I can get images of the copyrighted shit because
it's bad. It's
copy-
egregious.
Yeah, it's bad. Rated images from Marathon.
And I love how they say it was a former artist.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So it gives me marathons.
From the moment they started previewing Marathon and started to like the beta came out and all of a sudden everybody was playing it and you could see how it really looked and how it played and everything. I think this project is doomed. I don't know of anybody that's excited about this game, and I don't know of anybody that's willing to pay full price for this game.
Yeah, probably just nobody's gonna want to pay the full price for whatever this is.
Should have just brought it back as a single player game. That ain't what they do anymore.
Fiona, then it's not open world. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, I know. I feel it.
Oh, God, Brock, the way your voice was, you sounded like Pauly Shore Pinocchio. Father, I want to go out on my own.
No, if I ever aspired to anything in my life,
yeah, there you go.
Someone to tell me that I sounded like Pauly Shore.
If I've ever aspired
It's
to
the
anything, it would be
Leaning
someone to tell me
Tower
that I
of
look like Carrot Top.
I'm a boy and I'm alive. I haven't even seen the movie. It's the Leaning Tower of Cheetah. How did he have a career? How?
It was the 90s.
The only thing that Pauly Shore ever did that made me laugh was
I like Son
the cameo in Futurama.
You know, I do get a laugh out of him getting the shit beat out of him in the
That's about
previews for Dodgeball.
Oh yeah,
Remember the little
true.
thing he did for Pauly Shore's Dead where he's getting the shit beat out of him with dodgeballs for a bit?
Oh, yeah.
Just, you know, stupid people don't get made famous anymore. All right, I'm not finding a good this is the
Not
best
nearly enough.
example of the one I can find, but you can see little bits that are all dissected from other parts. There was one that was on a wall, and it was literally just a copy and spread
Yeah, let me see if I could.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was bad. It was really bad.
That already doesn't look good.
Yeah, because
No, it doesn't.
Critical talked about it, and he had a bunch of the images.
Yeah, Super Best Friend or Castle Super Beast talked about it too and brought it up in old.
Oh, here I have it
God.
from a screenshot in a YouTube video, so it'll work well enough.
Yeah.
All right, let me just I gotta just download this really quick, and then I'll just bring it up on the screen share. There we are.
Yeah, that was part of it.
Ooh.
But there was another one where it was even worse. It was like a sheet of red and a sheet of something, and it was the exact same image. They just put a blurry thing over 20% of the picture, and it was just that slapped on a wall.
Yikes.
But yeah, that's... Oh boy. They go out of their... What I don't get is that they go out of their way to make this interesting, awesome, cool-looking art style. And then use...
It turns out none of it was theirs, that they just completely, stole an artist's like vibe and aesthetic and didn't compensate them for it and expected to get away with it.
Do you remember that Metal Eden game that we saw on one of the events, Brock?
Yeah, that's coming out relatively soon.
Yeah, and then we looked at it and we thought, "Oh, is that Marathon?"
Yeah,
and it turns out that game actually looks a lot cooler than Marathon to me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm quite excited about that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of fucking games coming out in the latter half of this year that it's gonna be good. My Assassin's Creed playthroughs are gonna take a lot longer than I thought because once fucking Lost Soul Aside hits, once fucking Ghost of Yote, all this stuff starts hitting, I'm gonna be busy. Ghost of Yote is gonna have 100 hours for me. I can tell you that right now. It's but all right. Story from Hideo Kojima. This guy is like my spirit animal. I love this dude to death. Hideo Kojima has stated that he left the staff a USB stick of game ideas for after he passes. This is a fear for me. What happens to Kojima Productions after I'm gone? I don't want them to just manage our existing IPs. Wish you a long, happy, and healthy life, legendary Kojima. What I'm trying to figure out, and I'm picturing, Kojima passes away. They plug that fucker into a computer, look at the ideas, and just go,
But it was in his will, so I guess we have to make it.
And then they're
somehow.
And then they see customary bag of crack, take before viewing. Oh, got it. And then there's going to be a stack of there's going to be a stack of 80s movies next to it. Because that's just how he operates. And
then,
a Sega CD with a copy of Snatcher still in it.
Yeah, and then Norman Reedus is going to be in the box too.
And then a thesaurus of random words to call the female characters. So we'll have a character called Raincoats Magoo.
They'll actually have a finished copy of PT
I would
there
love
as well.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say there's going to be a finished PT game in that. Yeah,
it's so bad. All right. So,
I don't know, man.
It's that time of week again, and we're going to talk about The Last of Us.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, before we get into this, because this is going to be the first... I'm not going to say mistake the show made, but it might be the first time I kind of disagree with the show showing something at a certain point.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mike might be able to guess it based on a thing that I've said for 3 weeks leading up to this. But Mike, how did you enjoy the episode?
I thought the episode itself was really good. I was pretty emotional when we got to the port scene. But before that, all the stuff with Eugene. Jesus, that was pretty brutal.
That is not in the game.
That's not in the game at all.
Not even remotely.
Is that character not in the game?
That character is never seen in the game.
Yeah,
but you find
he's
out
referenced.
that he was a former Firefly that kept all the pot in that room that they find.
Oh, okay.
And also kept a particular collection of videotapes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he did.
They were great. That was
I forgot-
great. That's
I
one of the
forgot
gags
about
that I
that.
missed from the game, honestly.
Yeah. But what other parts did you like? Yeah, the therapist doesn't exist in the game either.
Oh. I think just in general,
Joel had a girlfriend in the video game, but they cut that. Anyway, go ahead.
in general, I just liked how the flashbacks were each different points of Joel and Ellie's relationship, specifically the different birthdays she had.
Yeah, that was a good touch. I genuinely love that they made those all birthdays.
And also how each flashback was like a tiny little tear in the relationship until it bursts.
Hey, Kiona, what part am I shocked that they showed?
Definitely the porch scene. Because I was surprised too.
Mike, that is the second to last thing you see in the game.
Yeah, that is absolutely.
And
It's
you know what, go
weird to
ahead.
see it in
If
this
you're gonna go
position.
ahead.
Yeah, it's weird to see it in this at this moment. I feel like it might be a tactical mistake as well.
So, Mike, I am not exaggerating when I say I'm gonna start crying thinking about it. That scene on that porch in The Last of Us. Well, here we're gonna do one thing. I wanted to show this because I thought it was just really good. Where is it? That is them in the game versus that it's really really close.
Yeah.
But I suppose the way we should do this is when you start off for the most part in the game, you're going on a patrol before Joel dies, you go on a patrol with Ellie and Dina. And then they get stranded and Joel gets caught off guard with Tommy and you hear Dina talking to Ellie about like what she's gonna do later, and she's like, "Yeah, I might watch a movie with Joel or something." Like it's you could still tell there's tension, and then you don't get a glimpse, a pre-roll of them talking on a porch at all. The only thing you get is the scene where Joel leaves after Ellie cusses him out at the dance,
Yeah,
and then how they kind of tail off every day in Seattle with Ellie and Abby as they have flashbacks. Abby is with her guy she's seen, her friends, and then sometimes her dad, and Ellie is all stuff with Joel.
yeah,
The Future Days thing is played at the very, very start when
yes,
Ellie's in the garage. And then you have the thing at the museum, which that was oh,
that was perfect.
Incredible.
That was spot on.
That was so
Yeah.
good.
So good.
But yeah, like their moments together are just fantastic. Anyone who watched this episode and still
Yeah.
doesn't think that Bella plays Ellie, I don't trust your opinion on actually fucking anything anymore.
Same.
Oh yeah, she literally was perfect.
Yes. But and then you get a moment, the next flashback is you get a moment where those two get sent on she's out on a fire, she's out with Joel and Tommy, and like the moment where she's shooting a sniper rifle, that comes there. And then they go in and they go into the store where they can find some guitar strings for Ellie's guitar. And then they come across some people that had snuck out and that were done after they have a fight with the infected. And Ellie is in her brain questioning what actually happened because she's like not feeling okay about this because she's gets sad when she sees other people thinking that she could go along with that and like wish she could have helped people. Ellie still does not know what the fuck happened. And then
Yeah.
the next flashback, unless I'm forgetting one, it randomly cuts to Salt Lake City and Ellie is at the hospital again. She ran off.
Oh yeah, that's right. She actually went back
Yes.
and researched it.
Yeah. Now, this scene and the porch scene get sandwiched in the one in the show.
Yeah.
Now, whether it works for you is going to be your prerogative. In this, there's a year or two at least before the Seattle thing or the Salt Lake City thing and then this. And she finds a tape recorder that's like telling her there's nobody else, it's just her, and the only person who is going to make a cure is dead now. Like she's finding out that like this was just done. And what Joel told her was that there's a bunch more infected and they actually never found a cure. So then he catches up with her wondering why the fuck she ran off in the middle of the night. And then they're talking to each other and she's like, "You have one more chance to be honest with me." And it's basically kind of what happens on the porch a little bit. And he said they were going to make a vaccine, but it was going to kill you. and she goes into borderline hysterics, crying and like just fucking pissed that because she feels like she has kind of no purpose in life. She's been feeling something's been fucking wrong, and she screams at him and says, "I'll go back to Jackson, but you and me are done. That's it, we're done." So they go back and they have no communication whatsoever. And then it happens with the dance. And then as you're going further along, the game is baiting you into thinking that Abby killed Joel before her and Joel had a moment to reconcile. And that Ellie's so fucking pissed because she never got a chance to talk with Joel. Then the actual final climactic moment between Ellie and Abby, and I will not say what happens in it, it cuts to a flash scene of him on that porch with the guitar. A thing happens that some people like and some people really fucking don't. And then a little bit goes on and the full scene plays of her walking up. And then essentially 90% of what you saw in the show happens there. The being like ashamed of getting the coffee and all that, and just I would really like to try and make this up. I don't think it doesn't work, but to me, I think it would have been better with spacing between her finding out and wanting to forgive him instantly.
Yeah.
I will tell you though, one thing this show does that Joel never did in either games that I greatly appreciate is he actually tells Ellie that he loves her. That is never said once in the games.
It's a nice touch to have that moment.
Yeah.
And they never show his dad either, by the way.
I figured the opening was like original to the show.
Yeah. Supposedly that got him a role in Intergalactic, I guess.
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting.
But so there's that. Seth being a cop from the Milwaukee PD, thought that's pretty great because I'm from Wisconsin. So the flashback with Ellie getting the tattoo, that was kind of cool. That is the actual girl that gives Ellie the tattoo. But you just really never, I don't think you ever get to actually even see her in the game. She's just
I don't think so.
A couple of times.
She's referenced, yeah.
So I thought that was really cool because she does talk about that they dated, so that was cool. Her burning her arms so she could wear short sleeves again, I thought that was really great. The one thing, you never get to see her first patrol in the game either. The one thing I want to ask is the thing that feels weird to me is they kind of backseat Ellie being mad at Joel for this period of time for Joel lying about Seattle for her being mad at Joel for babying her.
Yeah.
Which to me is a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah.
I can see what you mean by that.
Because of those two, one's a much bigger thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the only thing that I honestly feel was a mistake in the show is showing the porch scene now. Like the scene, like the entire episode is not bad. And everything that happens in this episode is not bad at all. I just don't know if I would have shown that now. Because that scene is a trigger point for a pivotal moment that put this game at a 50-50 split for whether you like the ending or not.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I will say, I'm not hearing a bunch of people complaining about the writing, how stuff happens, all this stuff in this episode compared to they have with others. I'm not saying this is the only difference, but a drastic difference that is in this one is that this is the first episode this season that Neil Druckmann get directed alone.
Oh, true.
And he honestly did a really good job.
He did a very good job. They were more on script with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I am starting to, honest to God, wonder if they're going to change the ending of the game.
Hmm.
That's a good question.
I mean, that would make sense, because then why would they have the porch scene now?
Because I'm pretty sure the season finale is next week.
And they've openly said, if there's no way to complete the narrative in a third season, hopefully we earn enough to come back for a fourth and finish it. So they're planned through a fourth season for the second game. I'm not against that. I'm not. Because we're not even halfway through Ellie's stuff right now. So if they do a season and a half for each, I wouldn't get it. If we don't get the barn scene with the... yeah, Umbreon, that scene is... I will be honest with you, that one I'll be actually pissed if they don't do, but I don't think there's a way on God's green earth they don't do that. I was very confused because I was like, they already had the scene in the barn, the dance was there, and then I remembered that scene. Holy fuck. Yeah, the directing in the latter, all of Last of Us Part 2 is really good, but, Kiona, I think out of the only one of this group that has fully played that game, is there anything else in here that you think was weird or anything you're feeling coming out of this for the future of it?
I agree with you that I think it may be a tactical error for them to actually have that scene so early. Are they wrapped with Pedro Pascal? Is he wrapped? Is he like done?
I don't. For this season, maybe.
Wait,
you guys in the behind the scenes stuff? It looked like he was wrapped.
I was gonna, yeah.
Well, again, they haven't even started shooting the next season. If they want him to come back for something, they could easily hide that.
They could easily, bring him back.
We don't know when they literally did all his flashbacks already.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm at this point. I'm kind of like you, where I feel like it could go anywhere. Now, they could change the ending of the game. They could not change the ending. They could change the ending of Dina and Ellie's relationship or not. At this point,
I just remembered something. I'm not going to mention what it is because it's spoilers, but there's something that I cannot wait. I just can't wait. There's a character that's going to be introduced that's going to get all sorts of people pissed off.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
The character's name is Lev.
Yeah, even more so.
And it's going to piss them off even more than two lesbians being in a couple, and I just can't wait for the stupidity to follow.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I just can't wait.
This is I mean, it was cool to see Joey Pants in the show.
Gets more invested in all the revenge. That Umbreon, you just fucking. It hits harder having that scene at the end because the gameplay gets you more invested in all the revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're going to tell the story in different ways, I get it. I'm going to give them credit. There's done nothing in this that I will say that I'm actually irritated over. I'm not one of those people who are like, well, actually, she said instead of in that scene, so you can go fuck yourself, Mr. Druckmann. But yeah.
What if okay, so do you think we're gonna actually see the thing that happens about midway through the game next week, considering that it's the finale?
I don't think they're gonna show that, because unless we're cutting out 70% of Ellie's campaign, that thing shouldn't happen yet.
Yeah. It doesn't look like it based on what they showed in the preview.
Yeah. Now, that would be a hell of a halfway stinger, but
It would.
I kind of think that, bro, that
The
thing
way
ain't coming
that-
for a long while.
The way that they framed that shot of her going back to the theater, though, just made me think.
But she's coming back currently from
Yeah.
killing Nora, which
Yeah.
is a big pivotal scene of her freaking out at what
Mhm.
she had to do to get the info out of her.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, she hasn't even found out where Abby is yet, or said she knows where Abby is yet. And if they, in one episode, have her find out where Abby is, go through all of the horse shit to find her, and then come back,
Yeah.
that to me, and you're saying you need 4 seasons to do this show?
Yeah.
That to me is rushing. Unless
Yeah,
they're gonna
that's
tack on
extremely
a
rushed.
fuckload for the ends parts of it, but
Yeah, I don't think I want them to rush anything if they're taking if they're extending the game to a 4th season.
yeah, yeah, I think that would be unnecessary. Speaking of unnecessary, it's HBO Max again.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't have changed it in the first place, should they?
Yeah,
Probably
I'm
shouldn't
like,
have changed the thing that's in the intro stinger for their shows they show on Max.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't have.
yeah, let's see, throwing away decades of brand building and goodwill for Max. What the fuck does Max even mean?
Exactly. It means nothing.
I just, I...
And here's the dumbest part. When they did that at the time, they were trying, I use that word loosely, trying to have programming for kids and families, but then David Zaslav's like, nah, we don't need any of that. So
Yeah,
they gutted like almost all of it. And now it's like,
Zaslav's good to listen to.
and now it's just HBO Max because they want the prestige of HBO.
I seriously think
Yeah.
that David Zaslav just came in here just to dismantle it completely from the inside.
Oh no, that's totally what's happening. But like, honestly, I feel like he's exceeding his own expectations,
Yeah, he is.
which is a beautiful transition to this next story.
Oh
S&P
yes.
downgrades Warner Brothers Discovery to junk status on weak credit metrics that could get worse if the company splits. S&P downgraded Warner Brothers Discovery down to BB Plus amid continued revenue and cash flow declines in the linear TV operations. Anything BB Plus and below is junk bond status for the giant ratings agency. It has reaffirmed it's a negative outlook, and it also says from a credit perspective, it's not a fan of the possible WB split teased by CEO David Zaslav last week after an internal reorganization split the company into 2 divisions, streaming and studios and global linear network. What does that fucking even... This month, separations would be a credit negative, S&P says. Linear woes saw S&P lower its forecast for the the earnings before interest tax
Depreciation.
Or 2025 and 2026 by about $9 billion. So the profit of GTA for the next 3 years. That translates expected at a leverage of 3 to 4 times at the end of 2025 to 3.9x at 2026, heading in the right direction, but still significantly above the ages of 2.5x leverage threshold rating. S&P lowered leverage remaining until 2027, leverage ratio indicating the debt compared to assets equality. So, Zaslav sucks at his job.
And WB, for basically, in layman's terms, is super duper fucked.
Man, remember when they were good?
Honestly, I don't.
When we
No,
were like,
it just-
when I was like 12.
This literally happens. Like, how do you somehow get fucking worse than the AOL merger? Like, that's actually incredible.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they've been worse at like every single time they've merged with another company.
Yeah.
This time it'll be different, though. We promise, guys.
And I mean, like, I've seen people wrongly accuse this. This is me sticking up for Xbox. This is going to be rare. I've seen people compare, like, companies getting worse and then stating Xbox. And, like, Xbox did not get worse when it bought other companies. It just didn't exponentially skyrocket after buying them. This is them actively getting worse by absorbing things. Somehow.
And this is also kind of relevant to HBO Max, whatever the hell we're calling it this week. And this pertains to with them purging family and kids. So basically, the last couple of years, because I guess fuck them kids, Sesame Workshop made a deal with HBO Max to basically help them produce new episodes of Sesame Street, and basically the window would be they would be exclusive so many months on like HBO Max, and then they would air on PBS as they have for like the last 50 years. The interesting thing of this new deal with Netflix is Sesame Street's going back to air day and date with PBS and Netflix. So kind of similar to the deal with The Amazing Digital Circus, is that it will still be free on PBS as it always is, but hey, if you have a Netflix subscription, you can watch it there too.
Yeah. Yeah. Just don't get it. WB used to be the thing that I looked forward to seeing on my cartoons when I was younger.
Oh, and I have another dumb Zazzle thing, because we were actually having like a
Only
long
one?
debate about... No, specifically about Sesame Street. Like, we're actually... Me and a bunch of grown-ass adults were having a very serious discussion about this.
Before we get anywhere, speaking of Sesame Street, who else at the, let's see, age of 34 found out that Oscar the Grouch is originally fucking orange?
Oh, I knew that. And I think canonically the answer is to explain why he changed color is that he doesn't get a shower.
He fell into garbage and then didn't shower. That was it! My brain broke in half. I saw it on a video 3 days ago, and I'm just like, my childhood's a lie.
Yeah, some of those season 1 Muppets, especially season 1 Big Bird, are kind of scary. Like, not gonna lie, like, really fucking weird. But yeah, so, since Zaslav hates everything that's good, for whatever inexplicable reason, I don't know if it was music licensing issues, or it just could have been like, hey, I hate everything. Like, none of the classic Sesame Street seasons, especially the ones from, like, the 80s or 90s, weren't on HBO Max. So, hopefully, some of those episodes will end up on Netflix, but yeah, God, what a disaster WB has been the last couple of years.
But will they
like,
have Fly Me to the Moon at the credits? Sorry, wrong show.
I still don't get that, but yeah, we can have Robert Durst and co. in like Korean Day, so I guess it depends, but I would imagine Netflix is probably going to make a big deal of this because they'll get a ton of watch hours, which for them it's going to drive up subscriptions, so that's worth it more to them.
Actually, I'm pretty sure they're already making a big deal about it. Like, it was last night I saw it on nightly news.
Oh yeah, I saw that too, but I feel like for Netflix internally, something like that, you know, where they'll invest time and money means a little bit more. And also, like, the thing is too, like, Sesame Street as a show is on the lower budget, so
it is. Costs pennies to make that thing. That reminds me of the clip. Can you guys see the clip where they have Robin Williams and Elmo says his name wrong?
Yes.
yes.
I love that.
Where's Mr. Robbins? Take it back to the damn stick, Elmo. Elmo just sinks into the box. I said the wrong name!
The clips I watch the most just for fun are like the Robin Williams stuff and all of Elmo versus Rocco.
Yeah.
You know what another good one is? And I was making a joke about this last night. Have you ever seen like the Christmas special? And randomly they change from like Muppets to like basically Times Square costumes so that they can ice skate. No lip sync. They just randomly switch.
Yeah.
And then what happens to Oscar? Like that's the reason why he's a grouch. So like, here, spoiler alert, Oscar fucking dies. Like he goes through like 3 fucking like, you know, dry walls and it's just like flying through the air and like falling down the stairs. Like it's just the puppet itself just being thrown down. Like he's fucking dead. Oscar died and he's dead. But anyway, somehow he miraculously recovers. And here's the reason why he's a grouch. So he's concussed, probably has several broken Muppet bones. His health premiums are gonna fucking skyrocket.
I just remembered the Dave Chappelle Sesame skit where the little kid goes up to Oscar the Grouch and he goes, Oscar, why are you such a grouch? And he turns to the kid and goes, bitch, I live in a fucking trash can. Oh, I miss Chappelle so fucking much. Oh, why do black people love menthol cigarettes? We don't know. That is correct. No one knows why black people love menthol cigarettes. Everyone gets the correct answer no matter what they... Ah, oh, that show is so good. All right, we've got some trailers to talk about. Okay. So, Jurassic World Rebirth trailer. What did we all think?
I think this movie looks... It looks good. It looks like they're really going back to the horror of Jurassic Park. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be the biggest movie this summer.
It's got the possibility to. It really does. It's cool to see Scarlet in a big name thing that's not Avengers.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I like it. Now I need to get on there and watch the other Jurassic World movies that I haven't seen. But yeah, it looks cool. They're trying to take the DNA and things like that. No, it looks interesting. I'll give it that. Anyone else got any thoughts, comments, concerns?
So
Yeah, I think it looks good. I think it looks a little bit scarier than the other Jurassic Park movies, which is cool.
Yeah, it kind of like feels more Crichtonian in vibes.
Yeah, and also they have David Koepp coming back to write the screenplay, so
oh, thank Christ!
they're really taking it back to its roots.
Yeah, like it's low key, almost like a borderline hard reset.
Yeah. I kind of consider it like the Alien Romulus of the Jurassic Park franchise.
You guys have heard the holy fucking shit, it's a dinosaur.
Yes.
Holy shit, what the fuck? That has ruined me for whenever I watch Jurassic Park. I can't unhear.
No, the one that ruined me was the recorder or the
Oh yeah.
Oh, the bad recorder for Titanic? Yeah. That original video when they go at their it's so good. That is one of my favorite YouTube videos of all. That guy has like 70 videos of random songs. That wasn't a joke. He was being serious. He thought that was good.
That just makes it even funnier.
Like the description in it says, subscribe for more raw passion. Like, have you guys seen the actual video that goes with that sound? Have you?
I don't think so.
Oh, we're watching it afterwards. Oh, that's happening. While we're waiting for the things to click, we're watching it. It's fucking phenomenal. All right. So we're gonna do the most obvious one last. What did we all think of Ironheart?
I think
Do you think
And-
this character is doomed if the show doesn't do well?
100%. 100%.
I feel bad for her because Disney is like setting her up hook, line,
Yeah, they are.
sinker.
Because here's
Yeah,
the
they
thing. The way they're releasing the show is really kind of bizarre.
Like
So it comes out-
episodes right away or something.
Yeah, it comes out June 24th. It's a 3-episode premiere. And then it's the next 3 weeks are just 1 episode. But like, so it's not quite an Echo situation where they're just dumping all at once, but still, it's not great.
Like the
It's
actual
not a good look.
the CGI work and everything looks good in it. That's the weird part.
That's it. Oh, that's the other thing. I don't know if it's like for the entirety of it, but they use a practical suit for a good chunk of it.
Wow. Okay. I'm okay
Well, I
with
would
that.
imagine it's a lot easier now to make those suits like with 3D printing and everything. That they're a lot more comfortable than what Robert Downey Jr. had to wear. And then by movie 2, he's like, "Yo,
He's
yeah,
just wearing a chest piece. He
Yeah.
ain't wearing shit. But yeah, that character isn't bad.
Yeah, no, I liked. I know there are
No,
people
she-
who didn't really
she's not
like her
bad at
in
all.
Wakanda Forever, but I really liked her in that.
I liked her
and
too.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she's replacing Iron Man and she has melanin, so we can't be having that.
The comments got so bad that like on social media discussing film had to like lock the replies because people are just racist assholes.
Yep.
To be honest, Umbreon, it would have been a huge mistake introducing her before Tony died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have.
no." I think she was introduced in like the right situation.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
no matter what, if you were trying to pre-prep a replacement for Tony, people weren't going to take it.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that would have been holy
Not at all.
shit. My skin is actually like slowly peeling and shaking at the amount of discourse that would have caused.
Yeah, and the reason why I know it's not because she's introduced afterwards, because all the comments were, why don't you just use the kid from Iron Man 3? I wonder what's different
Oh.
about him. Maybe that he's a male and he's white.
And also, he was there. He was there at the funeral scene. Like, that actually was the kid.
That no one
Yeah.
recognized it was him!
Because, puberty's a thing.
I just love everyone's like, who's that kid? I'm like, think. 2 seconds. Who's the only random kid that's not an Avengers member that's going to be there?
Like, come on,
Yeah.
guys. It's not that hard.
What are we doing? But, alright. So, on to the one that we want to talk about here. How we feeling about Superman?
God, I have seen
want
this
it
trailer
now.
so many times.
I want it now. And I'm upset I can't have it now.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I am very excited.
Yeah.
It looks
I
very
think
good.
it's gonna. I think it's gonna be very, very good.
Them making an actual personality difference in
Yeah.
voice. This is where I talk about how the Superman thing doesn't work, because they don't do this.
Mhm.
If you put the 2 pictures of them next to each other, the glasses don't fool you. You watch David Cornsweet turn from Clark
Yeah.
to Superman, and his
Yeah.
clothes don't change, but I saw a different person.
Mm-hmm.
It's
What do
all in
you-
the voice, and what he does
Yes.
is so subtle,
Yeah.
but it's perfect.
I love
Yes.
the moment of hey buddy, eyes up here.
Eyes up here. Yeah.
It's
fantastic.
because it's so Superman,
Mhm.
but he also he kind of like no sells it. He doesn't he doesn't Christopher Reeve it all the way. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't do like he's a he's a happy go lucky guy. He kind of does it with a little bit of an edge to it, but it's also very Superman.
Yeah, it's
What do you
go ahead.
what do you guys think of the criticism of him showing like emotion? when he's
I think
being interviewed.
I
by
think
Lois.
that's just complete
I think people-
bullshit.
I think
Yeah,
people
that is
I agree.
bullshit. That's
Little
because
too
they just want the Snyderverse thing,
Yeah.
and nothing will
because
ever
crying
satisfy them.
isn't manly, and manly can't happen if man cry.
So here's the thing. I liked it. And the reason why I liked it is because it's showing Clark as a passionate person
Jeez.
as opposed to him being dispassionate.
Yes.
I think we've had enough dispassionate Superman.
Yeah.
I think that we've had enough of that. That is not his character. That's not what his character should be.
I mean, when I think of Superman, like other than Christopher Reeve,
Yeah.
I think of like the '90s DCAU Superman, where he had his little, spicy moments too.
He
Mhm.
did.
As do I. 100%.
Yeah.
That
I'm not
like,
saying that Henry Cavill was bad. I'm not saying
No.
that at all. I think
No,
Henry
it-
Cavill never got
was
to
just-
really play
No.
Superman.
No.
Yes.
No, he didn't.
No,
He was in
didn't.
some really terrible movies.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think he ever
never
really got to
to.
play the character all that much.
No, he didn't. He got to be
I
Superman for a third of his own Superman movie.
exactly.
Like at
I
least
just-
at least in this clip, we get to understand exactly what he's all about and why he does the things that he does.
Yeah.
He even goes out of his way to say, "I'm not representing anyone. I'm just trying to do the right thing."
Yeah.
That's what Superman should do.
Yes.
And-
And I love the moment with Jonathan. By the way, Pruitt Taylor just like brilliant casting. I think he's brilliantly cast. I love the moment with Ma Kent, with Martha.
Yes.
I love that little moment.
I'm going to go get them.
Yeah, and I love the interview with Lois. I love the fact that they're starting us off with Lois already knowing who he is.
Fantastic.
And I love the fact that that he says, okay, he calls her Cronkite. I thought that was funny.
Yes. That was-
And I love the fact that she's actually sitting there because she knows what she's gonna do, and she goes like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's go." He's that Superman to me. He's naive. The naivete is part of what makes him who he is. And I love the fact that she actually does her job as a reporter.
Yeah, that's
we're
the
gonna
one
have to
thing-
disagree, Brianna.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I've appreciated about, more modern adaptations of Lois Lane is they just cut
Yeah.
out the bullshit where she doesn't know and they'd be like, "Okay,
Yeah.
you're Superman. Now
If
what?"
she was a good investigative reporter, she would figure this shit out.
She would figure
Exactly.
it out completely. Yeah.
She spends
I love this
every damn
person.
day with Clark Kent.
I think Corn Sweat is so good in the role,
Yes.
from what we're seeing,
Yeah.
and I think that this is going to be this is definitely a return to form.
The one
If
thing that's
if nothing else, I think again in the few short minutes that we've seen of Rachel Brosnahan's Lois,
Yes,
I think she might be the best on-screen version of the character since Margot Kidder.
I have to bring this up because this might be the best thing typed into a spam message ever. Remove the space.
Oh my god,
God.
That is fantastic.
I've seen that before.
Anyway, one person I'm actually quite honestly impressed with that I didn't know how I was gonna feel is Nicholas Holt as Lex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really liking him
Oh,
as
yes.
Lex.
I love him.
He's a dickhead.
Yeah.
He's just a straight dickhead, and I love that. I've been missing
Again,
that.
this is Lex. This is who Lex
Yeah.
is.
The way he says, "I cannot accept that."
Yes.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Also, like a thing that I appreciate about James Gunn when he is one of the few directors that acknowledges they're making a fucking comic book movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy is Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
She's the fucking robot version of Mercy, and I'm so happy.
Actually, that's not Mercy. That's a character from The Authority, the engineer.
Has that been confirmed?
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, but oh, I
The
didn't know that.
worst
I don't know why
Jolly
she was hanging out with
Ranchers.
them. Okay, either way, it's still good. But
so weird. So weird.
either way, I didn't know that was a character from the Authority. Either way, it's good. But yeah, missing the Jolly Ranchers and sweet Ma Grandma's piss in the jar.
Oh,
Ugh.
I just
God, the choices that they made.
yeah, like okay, I get people like defending Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like I might not necessarily agree with it, but I get it. I don't know how anyone can fucking defend BBS because some of the choices, like even if you watch the director's cut, it's like okay, maybe it's like a watchable movie now. I still wouldn't call it a good movie.
And
Remember when Jimmy Olsen got his head shot off because he was a CIA asset?
remember when you had to look up the fact that was Jimmy Olsen?
And it was the guy from Smallville who played Lex's cloned brother?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Right.
Yeah.
I loved Smallville right up to the end, but it had some weird moments.
It had some
Yeah.
very weird moments.
You know, one thing I will give BVS, and I think I've said this on this podcast before, but call me a fake DC fan. I don't know how it took until I want to say I was 28 years old that I never realized that Bruce and Clark's parents had the same name for their
Yeah.
mom. How did I never?
Because most
Ever
normal
know
people
that.
don't think of that.
I get what they were trying to do with the Martha scene. I really do, and I really understood it. But the thing of it is that it just the
it's the
execution
way it's
was
framed.
not.
Yeah, it's just
But
so
here-
awkwardly framed.
It
It's
is
so awkward.
It is awkwardly well. You wouldn't say. Well, here's the
Poor
thing: you wouldn't
Henry
say it any
Cavill.
other way if there was a boot put on your throat.
Yeah.
But
No,
here's the thing that
yeah.
I'm going to defend. I'm going to be a person that defends the logic behind that scene because people are bitching that he said the name Martha.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Batman has a Kryptonian spear to your throat. You have 2 seconds to
Yeah.
tell him to find your mom. Bruce knows you're an alien. If you said, save my mom, A, he's not going to do it. B, he might think your mom is a fucking squid creature from Corthax 5. Because you're a fucking alien!
Mm-hmm.
And then he's not going to know, even if he accepts to save your mom, he's not going to know who the fuck your mom is!
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't disagree with the logic either, but it's the way that it's framed in the execution. It's like, oh my god.
I don't even hate the movie or anything. I actually kind of enjoyed myself watching that movie. I gotta admit, like it wasn't like the worst movie I
I
ever saw in
enjoyed
my
parts
life.
of it. It's just
It's
very
just,
clunky.
yeah, it's really clunky.
It's a thing that I have a problem with the Zack Snyder movies that he directed. This
Yeah.
is the thing where everyone's like, yeah, but the Snyder version's better. You don't need a 4-hour movie to make a cohesive movie.
No.
If it takes you 4 hours to tie together plot points, you're not good at directing.
Yep.
And I don't hate Zack Snyder as a director, but it was very much not good at tying together comic book elements without making it feel clunky as fuck.
Also, the Aquaman chorus. What was that?
Oh,
What was that about?
Yeah, from Justice League.
Oh, yeah,
From
that's
Justice
right.
League, I mean.
Yeah,
What
that's
in
right.
the world?
Right, and like the crazy thing is too, because I've only watched a bit. I feel like a lot
No
of the
one
same.
should need a 4-hour canvas to make a good movie, Humbry.
Well, I mean, because literally that's basically what they did with Rebel Moon. I mean, essentially that was the plan that they originally had for like the Justice League movies back when they were going to be two separate movies. It would still be like the same issues, like these same structured story issues exist in both of these things. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yes. It's to the point of where, you know what Zack Snyder would probably be really good at? Making a fucking TV show.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go sniff Aquaman's shirt and suddenly burst out into song for no reason. That really bothered me. I'm so sorry. It just really bothered me.
They took out my favorite Superman line in a movie ever.
Is this guy bothering you? Was that the one?
Is this guy still bothering you?
Yeah. I love that line.
And he says it, and like he's back being Superman. He comes up over the star.
Yes.
Like, this guy's still bothering you, and he just beats the shit out of him, gets him out of the
Henry
way.
Cavill could have made an excellent traditional Superman. So good.
Those lines are so good. And like, it's because he's a mythical god figure that people were. Hey, Umbreon, I get that, but that's been the DC overall for 70 years. And they still had him be a lighthearted
Aquaman? Aquaman's a mythical god figure?
Oh, okay. He's talking about how they have like paintings of him and shit on the
Aquaman?
They did have some stuff of the painting around that bay and other things where they've like had things about him saving people in the night and stuff like that. I will give him that. That was
I have
part of
never for the life of me ever seen Aquaman portrayed ever as a mythical god figure
in a comic
book. The closest he was ever to that was when he was Hook Hand Aquaman that Peter David was writing. That was like King Arthur.
Yeah.
And then like every other time he's been the butt of the joke.
That's not really comics. That's other media making fun of Super Friends.
No, I know, but the thing of it is that he's never been portrayed as a mythical god figure. Aquaman?
You know,
In
the
that-
second
he's
time
talking
you
about
said that,
The king of Atlantis, yes. I wouldn't say that's a mythical god figure.
Kiona, just to interject a sec, the way you delivered Aquaman, I just think of the H Bomber Guy video.
Aquaman?
But yeah, no, it's just it's one of those.
I love
things
Jason
where-
Momoa, don't get me wrong.
Oh, I do too. And you wonder what Jason Momoa was the first one to be happy that he was no longer playing Aquaman. You don't go out of your
I
way to
don't
text James
blame
Gunn saying Lobo when.
Yes.
And he's the guy who's like, well, we're not going to. You know who was happy he's not playing Aquaman anymore and everyone's pissed off about Aquaman? He wanted to be Lobo.
And now he gets to be the person he was meant to be.
Sometime the easy answer's the correct one. Just saying. But all right. Anyway, yeah, I'm looking very forward to that, and like just having some comic booky shit happen in a comic book movie for a DC film. I'll be very happy with. I'm very okay with that. But all right. Anyway, Kiona, the next one's all yours, buddy.
Oh, yes. Okay. Is that the one that I wrote? Yeah. Okay. So we got us some Buffy Hulu revival news that happened over the past week. So Deadline reported it, and then it got picked up by everybody else. And apparently, they have found a new chosen one. They have found a new Slayer. Sarah Michelle Gellar actually took to Instagram and actually posted a portion of the video call in which she actually revealed it to 15-year-old actress Ryan Kira Armstrong, who was last seen in the Star Wars Skeleton Crew series, which, by the way, I did watch, and I thought that was a really good show.
I need to circle back to that.
Yeah. So she is the new chosen one. As a matter of fact, it was a very cute little phone call that SMG posted and said where she said that would you like to be my chosen one? I thought that was cute. It was nice to see. It was a nice little moment. Her father got on the call and was like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome," and she was just in tears and everything. So it's really cool. I know that we're all a little trepidatious because of that. There was that whole thing about the sort of like summary or whatever, the plot summary of the show that kind of went around. That maybe didn't sound so great.
I don't think I caught that.
Yeah, it didn't sound as good as we would hope, but I like the fact that they're making some moves here. She's a good little actress. I think she's gonna do a good job in the role. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm not entirely sold yet. but we shall see. I trust in Sarah Michelle Gellar. I think she's going to do a good job of shepherding the character, especially of Buffy herself. She was also hanging out with Allison Hannigan. I don't know if that was completely unrelated, or I don't know if they were talking about it, or maybe bringing Willow back, which would be nice. I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm also feeling a little bit like this could go either way still. But we shall see. Like I said, Ryan Kiera Armstrong, she was great in Skeleton Crew, so I'm hopeful, just hopeful.
If nothing else, just based on that video that I saw, I'm excited for her because this is going to be a huge role for her.
Huge.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've only ever caught snippets of Buffy over time, so I wouldn't know exactly what a bad synopsis would be versus another, but I think it's just cool, and yeah. And what do you think the chances are that the first vampire they killed is named Joss?
Please.
I would
They
adore
absolutely should.
They absolutely should. I would adore that, honestly. What if they went
Who
with
cares
like
who cares about the rest of the show? Just do that.
yeah.
Oh god.
That would be a win.
All right. Mike, I'm going to assume you put this in here?
Yeah, so I have some fun little tangents. One, because there's a rumor going around that Damian Wayne is going to be leading the big screen version of the Titans. I want to know who else are you going to put on that team? Is it just going to be the classic Marv Wolfman lineup, or do you want like a totally different roster?
Seems like they're going to skew younger if they have Damien in it.
I honestly don't know.
It kind of sucks that WB screwed this over for like Blue Beetle, because I know he's been in like some of the recent animated stuff, right?
Well,
yeah,
he's also said that his film is the first canonical thing in the new DC movies. James Gunn did say his counts, because you can disperse it from everything else. He said that one is canonical. He has said that.
Plus, he is getting an animated series that's continuing the movie, so
yeah.
we will definitely be seeing more of Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle was great. I got to hear Cypress Hill in a superhero movie. It was phenomenal. But I wouldn't mind there being some weird ones like Blue Devil.
Yeah.
I want to recreate one of my favorite scenes ever is that run where Ravager was on the team and she was terrified. It's that fucking panel. I laugh till I cry every time I see it. Where she like sneaks into, I want to say it's Dick's bed because she's scared she's gonna get kicked off the team, and she tries to seduce herself. And like he stops her from trying to like seduce him, and he like handcuffs her, cuffs her behind her back, and like the alarm goes off in Titan's Tower, and Blue Devil runs by and goes, "Wait, what?" Like sees him pinning Ravager naked on the bed with handcuffs.
But
That's great.
I agree with Beast Boy and Raven. I kind of feel like at this point they're like de facto, like they have to be in there. My hot take is, honestly, maybe like another like female hero other than Starfire, because I kind of feel
there's
like
no
I have
Starfire if Dick Grayson's not there.
yeah. Well, I mean they try to, and it's weird.
I have a couple deep cuts. How about Black Lightning's daughters, Thunder and Lightning?
That wouldn't be bad. I'm not against the Speedy call out.
Yeah, not against that, no.
Yeah, I know it never happened because I don't think in the comics he's ever been in it, but Static Shock.
He actually has been in a couple runs.
Yeah.
Now,
I can see that.
Do you think they're going to call it Teen Titans or Titans?
If
It has to be
Damien's
Teen
leading,
Titans.
they're gonna probably call it Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Do you think they would pull a fast one and put Tara in it?
Ooh,
Oh man.
It would be cool if she was, but
I would be careful with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
yeah,
you just
because
have
I
to
know the
never have
comics.
Deathstroke. Deal with the Titans, but it's like.
Yeah.
Now, see if they made it just the Titans, then maybe he's not.
Yeah, if it's
Maybe
just
he's
Titans,
not-
then you can actually do like the
Yeah,
Dick
you know,
Grayson
maybe then
team.
Kendrick Lamar won't be singing about it. But
Oh boy.
the fact that they even redid that in that animated movie blew my mind. They kept that plotline in. Like,
Yeah, they did.
Right. And, I'll give the O3 series, like, one thing. I mean, yeah, they changed it from Deathstroke to Slade, but at least, they cut that out, which, honestly, I kind of don't hate that.
So,
Yeah.
I have to wait. We're gonna. I never thought I'd have an opportunity to bring this up. They changed Deathstroke to Slade because we don't want some violent, whatever, over the top thing being shown to our children. But they will have Trigon, the fucking demon king devil himself, possess his daughter, and then Slade, like, strip Raven bordering on naked and have devil sigils possess her.
I remember that episode.
I know.
Fucking why did we skip that shit then?
Gotta love stanges and practices.
Yeah, and
Couldn't fucking believe that.
wasn't he like demonic Slade at that point?
He was
Yes!
possessed. He was dead. And
He was dead and
possessed
came
in
back to
hell.
life and was like demonic and shit. And
was
they had
so
no problem with that.
None. But no, we can't call him Deathstroke.
Oh, man.
What's that, honey? No, that's Slade. Who's that? That's the devil.
Standards and practices, they make no
I-
sense.
I couldn't
They really
believe
don't.
that. But god damn it.
Yeah, I do have a fun mini, like, stanges and practice story. My friend, like, years ago, the one studio, I guess, client she was working for, so they had a scene where I guess the character is eating spaghetti, and they weren't allowed to use, like, a fork because they were worried a child might stab themselves.
What?
What?
I know.
What the heck?
I had to clarify that.
One of my favorite ones was, I want to say it was Japanese censoring, where in old animes to cover up blood, they just made it all white, and that just didn't make the situation better.
No.
No, I can't
No.
imagine. I can't
Arguably, it
imagine
made
that
it worse.
Yeah. The stuff that they got away with on Justice League Unlimited, by the way.
I know
The
exactly
stuff
what
they
I
got
was going to
away
bring up.
with.
I'm gonna, because I bring it up every fucking
Do it.
time we talk
Do
about
it.
this.
Do it.
Huntress and The Question are my
Yes.
favorite DC couple ever. They were having actual phone sex in the middle of an episode, and I can't believe it. What
One
are
of my
you wearing?
what
Blazer, orange socks, fedora. You're really bad at this.
and one of my favorite things, by the way, in the show was when. Do you remember the Great Brain Robbery, which was the episode
Yes.
where Flash and Lex Luthor switched?
Oh yeah,
They
where he
switch
takes
brains.
his hat up. I have no idea who this guy is, which is so
Yes.
inside baseball because the
Yes,
guy who's-
Identity Crisis.
Because Identity Crisis, but also the guy. Oh, I gotta say this correctly. Lex is possessing the Flash, taking off his mask, saying, "I have no idea who this guy is." When the guy who voices Flash is the
Is
guy
Michael
who
Rosenbaum.
plays Lex. It's
Yeah.
Yes.
Phil.
Yes. But I love the moment where he's like, where he's doing a very bad Lex Luthor. He's like, question the planet at your peril.
Yes, it was.
Any
Oh my
questions? And and like he's in the bathroom or something, and he's like trying to figure things out. And then the guy that he like walks out without washing his hands, and the dude comes in there and he goes, "Aren't you gonna wash your hands?" And he's like, "No, because I'm evil."
Evil.
And the way that they draw the guy's jaw just dropping at that moment was hilariously funny. And like then it was like, what was the witch's name? The Tala or something? Was it Tala?
I can't remember.
I feel like it was
Fuck.
Tala.
I
But anyway,
remember.
but he's like, Lex is walking along with her and she's like all like, she's all clingy with him and everything. And she goes like, you have to rest, my love. And then she like pulls him into this room in the side room and closes the door. And he goes, hey, that's not restful.
Yeah,
And they
there
did the
was
thing with
that.
the Atom and Wonder Woman. And she like puts him in her like in the, in her like right between. And she goes like, I need both hands, Dr. Palmer.
Yes. And then, like, they have the jokes where fastest man alive, huh? The ladies must be a huge fan of that, or like, however they said that. And then there was the other one where the Flash had a crush on Fire, and then I think it's either Hawkgirl or Wonder Woman goes to me. He's like, I don't know if you should try that. I heard she's Brazilian.
All of the jokes, man. It's just
Oh, it was
incredible.
so fucking
The one with where the episode where Kevin Conroy got to sing as Batman,
yeah.
and you remember they're searching for the Wonder Woman, the Wonder Pig,
The
and then
Wonder
like the
Pig.
guy goes over to like who was it? It was like the Crimson, like it was supposed to be like the Phantom, not the Phantom. It's supposed to be like the Spirit or something, right?
Oh yeah.
And like he walks over to he knocks on the old couple's house door and stuff, and he goes,
Yeah.
"Excuse me, sir, I'm looking for a pig." And the guy goes, "Gladys, it's for you."
That's right. That's
Fucking
right.
hilarious.
Yeah, and like the level of writing they had there, where was the Christmas episode where I want to say
Yes.
Superman goes home for Christmas, and I don't know who follows him, but they're talking about how, yeah, we used to wrap all of his presents in lead so he couldn't tell, and Superman goes, you mean Santa used to wrap them?
Yes.
And you're like, yes. Like, it's just, they understood these characters so
Yes.
fucking well.
They had
God.
Ultra Humanite fix the toy for the kids or something, and then Flash goes,
Yes.
"I liked it better when he farted."
Yeah, I did, man.
It was so great.
Yeah, then they've got the whole entire
Oh.
living in a world of cardboard speech at the end. That show was so good.
Such a good show.
Oh, they do not make them like that anymore. And then
Oh no, they don't.
Then Bruce Timm decided that he needed to have Batman and Barbara Gordon have sex and kept joking, and that was that. Anyway,
what is his thing with that? Anyway, I don't know.
They got together in like 3 forms in different like in Batman Beyond, and
It's so weird.
he was so obsessed with it.
Why?
Like Nightwing is there, just make them fuck, dude. Like. Anyway, okay, so there has been 9,000 rumors going around from everyone from Pauly Shore to Denzel Washington, who's going to play Magneto. I might have been lying about Pauly Shore because, he's not quite as good as an actor as Denzel Washington. But
I would love to see a Pauly Shore Magneto.
one
honestly.
of these rumors, no one will ever mark my arms again. I don't know why I turned into Christopher Walken there for a second.
Now Christopher Walken as Magneto.
These mutants, wow! Like okay, so one of the rumors, and so one of the rumors for Magneto is Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm going to be honest with you. I would bet everything I own in every future generation that I ever have in all their possessions that this would never happen. But if he was going to play a comic book character,
Magneto
it
would be the one.
Magneto.
Because he's been like retired just for years. Like, it would have to be good enough to lure him out of retirement.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the whole thing where.
Actually, he is coming back for a project that his son is directing. But I see what you mean. Like this X-Men movie has to be so good to get to get Daniel Day-Lewis to actually agree to a comic book movie.
I don't know if
Or like any movie in general.
Because, like, the dude just is in the woods cobbling shoes. Like, he's fine. He comes back, wins an Oscar, and goes back to cobbling shoes. It's just how his life rotation works. But I drink your milkshake. I don't know. But just there, if it was going to there, I can't think of another thing that is the most meat that you could actually give to an actor of his caliber and go Holocaust survivor. Here. Like, Professor X would be the other one. Honestly. Now, you've had both of those characters have two not vastly different, like, different versions of them to a degree. Before I address it, hey, Umbreon, I never had an issue with them destroying a city because we're going to bring up something really quick, and I'm pretty sure I've talked with Mike about this. This is my biggest fucking problem, and this is going to be the last thing I bitch about Snyder on this, because it is not something against Snyder that I'm going to bitch about this. It's the stupid fucking people that complained about it. Hey, Mike, what did everyone compare Superman to and how they deal with the villains so that buildings don't get destroyed? What character that you're a huge fan of did they get compared to?
It was Goku.
It was Goku. Cool. So we're going to go over the stupidity of how people complained about this because they're fucking morons. The complaint was, every time Goku fights someone, they just like go to a random village, bruh, or as random fucking sand dunes and go fight. Cause his villains are fucking mentally challenged to allow him to do that. Any actual villain would not go, yeah, let's go over there where I can't use the people that you're trying to protect against you. No villain would go, yeah, we can't do collateral damage to make you have pause over there, so let's just stop what I'm doing and move to the most desolate thing ever and go fight over there. No, the guy would keep wrecking buildings to try and make you stop and give up.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing in those movies you cannot rip on Snyder about. That is how an actual fucking villain would act. He literally says, I'm not going to stop until you give up. Do you think that he would, an actual war general would go, no. I'm not going to use civilians as a ploy and a scheme in my tactical decision to screw you over. Anyone who ever made that complaint does not understand how an actual villain would act.
Exactly.
And here's the thing too, you have to take in context like when those movies were written. Like, this is, back, when like 9/11 trauma porn was like very like a thing in Hollywood for a few years. So I'm like, they were gonna invoke like some sort of like terrorist like energy. So like if someone like Zod, they would be like, I'm gonna like break your spirit. So I'm like, I feel like when discussing, Man of Steel, a lot of that context is missing.
Yeah, that's because we're just getting further and further away from 9/11. So people, so for younger viewers, they don't really have that context.
I'm gonna be honest with you, 9/11 never even crossed my mind the entire time I was watching it. It just came up as guy going to destroy buildings. You stop, I stop. The guy literally wanted to terraform the earth. Do you think he gave two fucks about saving civilian casualties in a fight?
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
Does everyone forget that that's literally part of the process is destroying that goddamn city? Whether he do it or the terraformer does it? Everyone who made that complaint, I'm like, you're literally bitching for the sake of bitching. Because he said, I love the World of Cardboard scene. Yeah, he's hitting him through buildings and other stuff because he's not going to leave the city. He's not. But people are being evacuated, and they're going to other parts. So much so that in BVS, they actually had to have Batman say, let's go to the abandoned dock so people wouldn't bitch. Anyway, so if Daniel Day-Lewis actually did do it, who would you want to be Xavier?
Ooh, that is a great question.
I don't know, but they better bring their A game, because if this person is if in this theoretical situation is acting against Magneto and it's Daniel Day-Lewis,
Jesus Christ.
who are you going to get? That is going to make him seem like the wrong one. I got it. He's bald already. Vin Diesel.
Oh, God.
I know. Daniel Day-Lewis is not quite to his level yet, but we can get him there in time. But, I honestly don't know.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
In this hypothetical not gonna happen situation, I don't got X-Men, I got family.
Okay,
But then he could he could pop a wheelie on the thing like the Charger. It all makes sense when you think about it.
He wouldn't do this because he was already Odin, but for some reason I can't get the idea of Anthony Hopkins as Professor X out of my head.
If he was a few years younger, but I'm like, he's starting to get up there.
Man,
True.
If you could get Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins. That would be. Who else? I got nothing. I got it. He hasn't been cast in a Marvel movie yet. Mahershala Ali. He's not doing anything! Oh wait, he's playing! I forgot! How could I have not remembered that great Blade trilogy we've gotten by now? Oh, but he had that awesome scene where I had to Google that it was him at the end of fucking Eternals.
But the one thing that I would like for Professor X is if they hire like an ambulatory wheelchair user.
An actual wheelchair user?
Well, ambulatory wheelchair users are they can technically still stand up and walk a little bit, but they just, can't do it long distance. I kind of feel like if you're getting someone other than Patrick Stewart to play Professor X, and if Wiki can do it, I'm like, there's really no excuse to not hire a wheelchair using actor.
Here's the problem, though, and I'm not saying you can't do that. I fear for if they do that and they say, well, now we have to have a wheelchair using actor, and I'm not saying there's no good wheelchair using actors. If they go down that route and they only come up with so many options and it doesn't work out well for this person, they're going to get shit on as a DEI hire. And I don't need that to happen to someone.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, that they'd be put in one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't situations.
Yeah. And I don't know. That's going to be interesting however they do it. It would be interesting to see if they ever actually show a situation that X can walk. Because they really liked to not do that in those movies and then forget that they had him paralyzed in one, but walked later. I don't know.
Which is another reason I think an ambulatory wheelchair user kind of gives you more options, and also half these movies are cartoons anyway, so it's
Yeah, we'll see what they gotta do with it. But that's all that we got on the old docutainment over here. Does anyone have anything else they would like to show?
I think we covered a good amount of stuff.
Yeah, I would say so as well. All right. So, Bree, where can everybody find you?
If you should desire, you can find me at crazylemur.bsky.social. I'm also on Instagram at lemurs01. I'm actually starting to post puppy content. So look on those
Yay.
platforms for that. And also, new episode of Lake Crap coming out soon. And that's all I got.
Mike.
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Blue Sky at Renegade Pop Culture. You can also find us here on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need to escape? So do we.
Absolutely. Fiona.
You can find me somewhere online when you fix this damn door. I'm sorry, I just felt like quoting Bully McGuire. Anyway, you can find me on Twitch and Blue Sky at Neoplasmic, and also on Twitter at Neoplasmic24, and also on Instagram and Threads at Neoplasmic81.
Alrighty, and you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. If you are interested in Ghost of Yote at the midnight release on October 2nd, I will be giving away a digital deluxe edition on my Twitch channel. If you are interested in winning, all you need to do is be subscribed and watching during the giveaway. Once you're subscribed, you'll be given a code word to enter in, and it'll be an automatic giveaway. It normally takes about 2 hours, and you have to be watching. Yes, Manny, I am looking at you, sir. If you see this. If you're interested in that, it's $5 to win something that's worth 80. I think it's a pretty good deal. That will happen on the midnight release of the game. Other than that, you can find me on my Instagram at Organoid Zero if you're into cosplays and such, and conventions and things like that. And then if you want to go with the other podcast I'm a part of, me and my buddy Eli and Athletic Geek 89, and the Geeking Out podcast, where we just take one singular topic and then we just chat about it for an hour. Alrighty, until then, we will see you all next time. Bye!
Bye.